If what you've done has made people wonder if you were smoking dust, you ain't coming back from that, brother.
What the hell actually happened?
Yes.
Before the Colts-Raiders game, that's why this situation occurred, because a person that was supposed to be calling that game for Fox, Mark Sanchez, former Jets quarterback and USC Trojan, he was involved in an altercation, and there was a report that got released then late that Mark Sanchez was stabbed. And the initial reaction when you hear someone was stabbed, it's like, holy crap, is he okay? And the reports came back that Mark Sanchez was in stable condition. But the problem was, if you saw the police report, it was saying that Mark Sanchez wasn't the victim. And so then, for us to do this justice, I think Bomani Jones started. Do we want to play the Bomani or the Dan Le Batard clip first?
Whatever you want to do.
Let's start with the Dan Le Batard clip first, because this explains like the eeriness of like you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, let's play that clip because this story took a turn that people were not expecting.
Details that are still coming out. Again, this is all alleged, but there was an altercation that happened in a loading dock. Mark Sanchez allegedly took exception to how this delivery driver was parking, invoked the manager wouldn't want you to be there, attacked the 69-year-old, which, by the way, there are some photos that have surfaced online of the condition that victim is in.
We don't want to watch any of those, right? We don't want to.
The picture is brutal.
It is hard to look at. The man apparently defended himself, attempted to pepper spray Mark Sanchez, which, according to what's out there, for the moment stopped him. But then Mark Sanchez went again to attack the man, who then defended himself. And thankfully, I did a cursory search before, and I found it very odd that Mark Sanchez wasn't the listed victim on this, which gave people pause that I'm sure some people in the media regret not displaying initially, because the takes were flying, Dan.
Mark Sanchez, well, we do this one all the time, though, just make all of these people who are many different things, we turn them into one thing that we know and put them in the easy compartment. I'm assuming that in his broadcast career, people feel like they know Mark Sanchez. They saw his career at USC. They saw him be great for the Jets, and as a broadcaster, he's got it all together. And I have no idea what happened in an alley at 3:30 in the morning in Indianapolis that involved pepper spray. And I assume that if there was a stabbing, I assume like a box cutter. My mind can go in all places of imagination, but Mark Sanchez is in stable condition at the hospital because he too was harmed by whatever it is that happened in this alley.
So right there, confusion.
Yeah.
But what was true is a lot of people were going out there and putting opinions out of like, hey, thoughts and prayers. This is a terrible act. There was a lot of.
I literally saw. I put it in our chat that Dan Orlovsky talked about, he's such a really great guy. Hate to see this happen to him. And then, right above it, it was, Mark Sanchez actually is the assailant in this situation,
and he's going to be arrested. To explain that turn of events, Bomani Jones, I think, does a great job of this because he gets to the point, but also kind of explains how crazy this unfolded here and how the legal action, it's far from over here, involving the former quarterback.
And hey, if you're liking this video, let me just tell you, this channel has a lot more to offer. From behind-the-scenes content, sports betting, and unfiltered takes, you should join our channel memberships. And if you want to unlock exclusive content, private live streams for real-time breakdowns, and we're going to have a sports betting newsletter from yours truly and the rest of the gang here at the Ryan Ripken Show. And on top of that, custom emojis, badges, shout-outs, and straight access to our inner circle. So be a good kid and hit that join button below. All right, now back to the video.
Sanchez had been stabbed and arrested, which is a really unfortunate combination of things to be. It's a delivery driver. He's 69 years old, and he picks up used cooking oil from places. So he had gone to pick up the used cooking oil from the Marriott in Indianapolis. And Mark Sanchez ran up on him for reasons that we don't know. And the way that man talked about Mark Sanchez coming out of him, it sounded like the police report from an officer-involved shooting. He was like, hey, man, I don't know what was going on with him and the way that he was looking at me, but I realized that it was a life or death situation with Mark Sanchez. So at some point, he sprays Mark Sanchez in the eyes with pepper spray and that Mark Sanchez wiped it off and kept charging that Buddy. He gets Buddy on the ground. He starts roughing him up. And then my man said he had to stab Mark Sanchez a couple times while he was on the ground. And then he had to stab him again after he got him off him. There are pictures that you can find of this 69-year-old man. And all I can say is I find it highly unlikely that Mark Sanchez will still be charged with misdemeanors when this was over. If what you've done has made people wonder if you were smoking dust, you ain't coming back from that, brother.
And then there's footage of the New York Post put this out. There's security surveillance. It's nothing graphic for anything there, but it's just you can see then this is Mark Sanchez wandering late at night. This was after this all happened.
Clearly stabbed.
And so you're sitting here and kind of wondering, okay, well, like this escalated quickly and beyond what anyone understood when it first happened.
Yeah.
And right now, who knows what happened with Mark Sanchez? But the thing is, the one of the phrases I heard growing up, like not a lot good happens, after midnight. And of course, have I been out after midnight? Yes, a lot of times. But in this case, a lot of things still don't add up. But what is coming to fruition is that Mark put himself in a position that the person that he had the altercation with thought that his life was at risk.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy thing to think about. And you're also wondering, I mean, look, I've been hungover, I've been drunk. I can't speak on anything else, but you wonder what else was at play with a guy like Mark Sanchez because of all the comments that people have heard about them. And that's why I wanted to play the Dan Le Batard clip was everyone feels like they know a guy.
Yeah.
Because you see him on TV every Sunday or Saturday. And then you see this and you go, what the hell happened?
Right.
So I don't know, guys. That was the wildest thing.
It makes no sense. It was also just the chain of how things were coming out because kind of like Brad was alluded to earlier, like the original reports, like I remember I was sitting with friends watching football and it was like Mark Sanchez was stabbed. And we were like, holy shit, why is someone stabbing Mark Sanchez? And we're like, that's crazy. They're like, oh, do we have an update? It's like, yeah, he's in stable condition. It's like, okay, that's good. That's good. They're like, Mark Sanchez is being arrested. Like he's being charged with, like he was the aggressor. And then you start seeing photos and you're like, Mark Sanchez was trying to kill this man. And then you find out, you're like, okay, was this guy was it self-defense? Like, did this guy approach Mark? Did something happen? And then you're like, yeah, Mark didn't like how the guy was parked in an alley.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was so like you said, like something was going on because it just seems like this is one of those stories where it's like an April Fool's joke. Yeah. You're like, what is every turn was less expected than the one before. Like you're like, what is happening?
It's absolutely wild.
And there was a lot of people that were coming out even saying like Indianapolis is a dangerous city now. It's very dangerous. Then we're like, well, pump the brakes on that. Someone came in from out of town that actually caused the violence. But the other big part of this too, and it's a great lesson for everyone. Let information get out there.
Yeah.
Make sure you feel like you're 100% certain of what's happening because, and look, everyone makes those mistakes and judgments of acting too quickly. Like you mentioned, Dano, look, a guy, you have a personal relationship and you see something hey, it's a reaction. But for everyone out there,
right.
If something don't smell right.
All I can say is that this definitely feels like this is the end of Mark Sanchez and any sort of career that he might have in broadcasting or